All right, hello everyone. So in this recording, we will be talking about measurements and significant figures. Okay, so what are measurements? Now, a measurement determines the amount, dimension, or extent of something in comparison to a unit. So meron tayong inaalam, no, gaano kadami, ano yung dimension, no, ano yung extent ng something in comparison to a unit. So meron laging kasamang unit ang measurement. Right? A unit is a definite quantity adopted as a standard of measurement. So whenever you measure, that means it always has two parts. Numerical quantity, no, which is the value that we measured, plus kung anong unit niya. Alright? So why is it important to indicate the unit? Okay? It's important to indicate the unit because it tells you now what standard of measurement you used when you measured that sample. All right? Now, the different labs or different people may have different units of measuring a sample. As for example, temperature, no? Sa Pilipinas and in many other countries, our standard unit of temperature is degrees Celsius. So whenever we report ano yung temperature ng katawan mo, ano yung temperature ng weather, no? So we report in degrees Celsius. All right? Now, it might be a problem if we don't report the unit na degrees Celsius. Kasi alright? If let's say, sinabi mo sa American, no, or someone na nakatira sa US, na ang temperature mo ay 37, no, ang body temperature mo ay 37, that temperature in their country, no, is actually lower than what they know as the body temperature because they are using Fahrenheit, no, in the United States. So, kapag hindi niyo binabanggit yung unit, there might be a miscommunication. Okay, ganun din sa, let's say, experiment ka, you wrote the methodology, and someone wants to replicate or try what you did. Okay, if you don't have the units, then it will be difficult for that scientist to replicate what you did. Kaya importante na naka-indicate yung units. So, these are the international systems of units, no? So there are 7 SI base units: length, mass, time, electrical current, temperature, amount of substance, and luminous intensity. Among the 7, yung pinaka hindi natin magagamit ay yung luminous intensity. Okay? So the base unit for these base quantities are given as follows. Okay? And these are the symbols. All right? Now, in many of our experiments, we will be using a weighing balance. Okay? So, the balance shown here or the balances shown here are the balances that uh, were used traditionally. Right? Ito lumang-luma na. Right? We don't have these anymore in operation. No? Pero, meron pa tayo na naka-display. Okay? Yung triple beam balance. Siguro, magiging familiar kayo dito kapag halimbawa nagpapa-check up kayo sa hospital or sa clinic, minsan ganito pa rin yung balance na meron sila, triple beam. Kasi may mga move na levers dito. Okay? Now, yung mas ginagamit natin ngayon sa labs is yung top loading balance. However, yung top loading balance, no, it's not usually used for analytical measurements, no? So in terms of accuracy, ang top loading balance ay less accurate. Okay? If you will also look at the diagram, yung kanyang number of decimal places na name-measure hanggang 2 decimal places lang. Alright? Yung analytical balance, no? It's capable of measuring up to 4 decimal places. Okay? So, for strict analytical measurements, okay, kailangan natin gumamit ng analytical balance. Now, in our experiments, no, there are instances when you need to use a top loading balance. There are instances when you need to use an analytical balance. No? Madali lang naman. Isipin nyo lang. Yun bang wini-weigh ko ay kailangan kong gamitin for my calculations eventually. Alright? If yes, then analytical balance ang gagamitin mo pang weigh. Okay? Kasi kailangan accurate yung mini-measure mo, accurate yung kinakalculate mo. Pero, pag hindi mo kailangan yung measurement na yon in your calculations, pinapadagdag lang siya kasi kailangan lang to make sure that the reaction is complete, okay? Then, kahit top loading balance lang yung gamitin mo. Okay? So, pag pinapa-approximate ka lang ng weight, top loading balance lang. Pero pag kailangan ng exact weight, analytical balance yung gagamitin. Right? When we go in the lab, I will teach you how to use the analytical balance properly. Now, a measurement will always have some degree of uncertainty. Okay? Whenever we report measurements, all right, we must estimate one digit that is an uncertain digit. Okay? So whenever we measure, we record all the certain digits. Pag sinabi natin certain digits, lahat ng sure tayong kayang i-measure ng instrument natin and the first uncertain digit. Alright? So ito yung estimated number. So halimbawa, when we are using a graduated cylinder, no? And your graduated cylinder looks like this. Okay? So your cylinder A is calibrated in such a way that it can accurately measure, all right, up to the ones digit. Kasi alam niya yung 80, may graduation siya for 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90. So every graduation here is 1 ml. Okay? So, certain tayo, no? Kung ano yung 81, certain na tayo kung ano yung 82, 83, and so on. Okay? Pag yung water level mo ay nandito, sure ka na at the very least may 80 ka. Sure ka na wala kang 81 kasi hindi ka umabot dito. It's between 80 and 81. Okay? So, yung certain digits mo ay 8 tsaka 0. But when you report measurements, you're allowed to estimate. Okay? So, ano kaya yung pagitan nito, no? So, pwedeng 80.6, pwedeng 80.7. So, ang magma-matter na yan, depende sa kung sino yung nagbabasa. Okay? You're allowed to do that. You can have one uncertain digit. And that is not a problem. Ang magiging problema ay pag nagdagdag ka pa. Kasi hinulaan mo na nga yung isang digit, tapos tinatry mo pang manghula ng pangalawa. Okay? So, mali na yan. You can only have one uncertain digit. So, paano kung yung cylinder natin ganito itsura? Ito naman, ang accuracy nito ay hanggang 0.1. No, kasi this is 8, 8.1, 8.2, 8.3, 8.4, and so on and so forth until 9.0. So, ang certain digit natin ay hanggang dito sa tenths decimal place. So, pwede tayong manghula up to the hundredths. So, halimbawa, ang water level natin is somewhere over here. Okay? Sure tayo na meron tayong at least 8.7. At sure tayo na wala tayong 8.8. So, the value must be between 8.7 to 8.8. We just add one uncertain digit. So, kung hula ko ay 8.75, then I report it as 8.75. That's how you do your measurements. In an analytical balance or top loading balance, automatic na yon na yung last digit dito ay yung uncertain digit. Ito rin, yung last digit ay yung uncertain digit. You don't have to guess because there's no way to guess unlike sa mga graduated cylinders, no? Madaling mag-estimate. All right? Now, another thing that I would like to remind everyone is that when you are reading liquids, when you're measuring volumes, right? Uh, you have to read the volume, the liquid at the bottom of the liquid curve or what we call as the lower meniscus. So kung saan tumatapat yung no, pinaka-bottom ng liquid curve, yun yung lower meniscus. Alright? So in the example on the right, yung dilaw, no? Yeah. Kasi burette to. So, ang reading nito pababa, 20 tas 21, no? So, this is 20.1, this is 20.2. So, pagitan yung lower meniscus ng 20.1 and 20.2. Okay? So, it is approximately 20.15. Certain tayo sa 20.1 kasi lumagpas siya sa 20.1, pero sure tayo na hindi siya 20.2. So, nag-add lang tayo ng isang uncertain digit. So, that would be 20.15. Now, uh, in our measurements, we may sometimes deal with very large or very small numbers. No? In that case, we should use the scientific notation. All right, when we deal with that. So, in the scientific notation, all right, ang general format is capital N times 10 raised to small n. Itong capital N na to, this is a number. Okay? And this number has a certain restriction. Dapat yung number na yan between 1 and 10. Excluding 10. Okay? Pwedeng 1, pero hindi pwedeng 10. Okay? So, pwedeng may decimal place. Now, itong small letter n, okay, should be a positive or negative integer. Okay? So example, 1.99 times 10 to the negative 23. So that's a valid scientific notation. Now, how do we convert to scientific notation? Okay. So our first goal is to move the decimal point such that we will convert it into something between 1 and 10. No, gusto natin maging capital N siya, no? So, number between 1 and 10. I-move natin yung decimal point. Now, this is the decimal point, alright? If I move the decimal point to the right, so magiging 5,687.62. Okay? So, lumaki lalo. It defeats the purpose. So, hindi pwedeng to the right. Ang move natin dapat to the left. Okay? If we move it once to the left, magiging 56.8762. Okay, so lumiliit, malapit na. Move it again to the left, magiging 5.68762. Okay? So now, we have followed the rule for the capital N. So yan ang capital N natin. So 5.68762 times 10, okay? Ngayon, ano yung small n? Yung small n natin, right? If yung decimal point nag-move to the left, then you add 1 to the small n. Every time na mag-move siya to the left. Every time na mag-move to the right, yung small n, magsusubtract ka ng 1. So in this case, dalawang beses nag-move yung decimal point or decimal place to the left. So, positive 2. Okay? So this is the scientific notation. Also, you never drop digits in converting to scientific notation. Hindi kayo mag-round off, hindi kayo magda-drop ng digits. Kung ano yung nakasulat originally, dapat makikita pa rin yung mga digits na yon sa converted notation. Okay, ito naman. 0.0000772. So, para naman lumaki yung number at maging between 1 and 10 siya, move natin yung decimal place to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So, magiging 7.72. In this case, actually, pwede yung i-drop to kasi hindi naman natin sinusulat yung mga zeros, no? Kapag nagsusulat tayo ng numbers. Kaya yan pwede natin i-drop. So, 7.72 times 10 to the 6 times tayo nag-move to the right. So, nagbabawas tayo ng isa kada movement. So, times 10 to the negative 6. Okay, so that's how you convert that to scientific notation. All right. Now, let's talk about significant figures. Now, ano naman yung significant figures? Whenever you see a reported measurement, okay, our assumption is that all or the rules on significant figures were followed when reporting a measurement. So, ibig sabihin, kayo din, pag nagre-report kayo ng measurement, dapat kung ilan or kung ano yung mga digits doon na significant to the measurement, meaning lahat ng certain digits plus one uncertain digit, lahat yon dapat reported according to the significant figure rules. Okay? So, significant figures represent the meaningful or important digits in a measurement. Not all numbers or digits are significant or important. Some of the digits merely indicate the position of the decimal point. Okay, so the significant figures in a number are all the certain digits plus the first uncertain digit that I was mentioning. So, there are rules no, in determining whether a digit is significant or not. First is, all non-zero digits are significant. So, wala tayong problema, no, sa karamihan. Ang problema lang natin, basically, ay significant ba yung zero or hindi. So, dito, sa 1.234 kilograms, there are 4 significant figures, no? 1, 2, 3, 4. So, zeros yung problema natin. There are 3 classes of zeros: leading zeros, captive zeros, and trailing zeros. Yung leading zeros ay zeros na makikita natin before all the non-zero or before the first non-zero digit. So ito yung unang non-zero digit, lahat ng zero sa kaliwa niya, leading zero yan, hindi yan counted as significant figure. Mga placeholder lang sila, right, to ensure na yung 4, 8 ay nasa nasa hundreds and thousands place. So they're not significant. So this measurement only has 2 significant figures. Okay? So madali na yon. Captive zeros, zeros in between non-zero digits, automatic significant figure yon. Basta between non-zero digit, automatic significant figure. So this value or reported measurement has 4 significant figures. Yung trailing zeros or zeros at the right end of the number are only significant if a decimal point is explicitly present. Meaning may nakikita kayo nakasulat na decimal point. Then lahat ng zeros sa kanang dulo ng number are significant. So here, merong 4 significant figures. Kailan lang hindi naging significant yung trailing zero? Halimbawa, 80. Walang decimal point na nakasulat. 1 significant figure lang yan. Pero pag 80 dot, okay, I am implying that I have 2 significant figures. Or yung iba ang ginagawa, para halimbawa yung 80, gusto nilang gusto nilang ma-count as 2 significant figures, gagawin nila scientific notation. So, 8.0 times 10 to the first power. Okay? So, 2 significant figures na siya. Right? By the way, sa scientific notation, yung nandito lang sa capital N, yung binibilang sa significant figures. hindi kasama to. Okay? So consider the number 1,500. Express this in 2, 3, 4, and 5 significant figures. In 2 significant figures, pwede mong gawin na 1,500. Simple. Alright? Pero kung gusto mo 2 significant figure, kung gusto mo scientific notation, you write this as 1.5 times 10 cubed. No? Kasi 1, 2, 3. Pag 3 significant figures, actually scientific notation madali lang. Lagyan mo lang ng 0. No? So 3 sig figs na yan. Pag 4 sig figs, dagdagan mo lang ng isa pang 0. Pag 5 sig figs, dagdagan mo lang ng isa pang 0. So mas madaling mag-significant figure actually pag naka-scientific notation. Okay? How many significant figures are present in the following measurements? Now, again, you can pause the video before I discuss. Alright? Then, play nyo na lang kapag ready na kayo. Alright, let's try. 2.0 milligrams, lahat ng non-zero significant. So, significant to. Trailing zeros are significant if a decimal point is explicitly present. So, significant yan. So, 2 sig figs. Ito, 4 sig figs. No? Same thought. Non-zero, significant. Trailing zero, significant kung may decimal point. So, significant silang lahat. Ganon din dito. Significant yung mga zeros na to. So, 5 significant figures. Dito, captive zeros, yun nasa pagitan ng dalawang non-zero, significant din siya. And you have a trailing zero wherein a decimal point is explicitly present. So that would be 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 significant figures. Ito, 2 significant figures kasi dalawang non-zero. Ito, 4 na significant figures. You have captive zeros which are significant. Ito ay 3 significant figures. Bakit 3? All leading zeros are automatic, not significant. Trailing zeros are significant if the decimal point, like this one, is explicitly present. So, significant to. Okay, so 3 significant figures. Yung 6.4 times 10 to the 4th molecules, significant itong dalawang non-zero. So, 2 significant figures. Yung 56.0 kilogram, 3 significant figures kasi yung zero na to, yung trailing zero is significant when a decimal point is explicitly present. Okay, so yan yung tamang sagot. Now, when we operate on our measurements, no? Kasi minsan mag-add tayo, magsasubtract tayo, multiply, divide, logarithm, anti-logarithm, no? When we do that, okay, how do we ensure that the significant figures are maintained, no? So there are rules in doing that in numerical computations, no? So for addition and subtraction, we actually do not look at the significant figures. We look at the number of decimal places. Dapat hahanapin mo yung ina-add mo or sinusubtract mo na may pinaka-konting decimal place. So, yung dami ng decimal place nun, right, should have the same number of decimal place as your sum or difference. So, halimbawa, sa una, calculate the sum of 3.4, 0.020, and 7.31. So, yung 3.4, isang decimal place lang. 0.020, tatlo. 7.31, dalawa. Ang may pinaka-konting decimal place ay 3.4, isa lang. So, dapat yung sagot natin, isa lang din ang significant figure. So, add natin to get the calculator answer. The calculator answer is 10.73. Pero, when we report, dapat isang decimal place lang. So, i-round off natin dito. I'm expecting na lahat kayo marunong mag-round off, no? So, round off, 3 yung katabi. So, retain lang yung 7, drop yung 3. So, 10.7 ang reported. Alright. Next. 89.332 plus 1.1. So, tatlong decimal place, isang decimal place, mas konti yung isa. So, isang decimal place lang yung sagot natin. The calculator answer is 90.432. We must round it off to make sure that we have one decimal place. Alright? So, 3 ang katabi nung nire-round off natin. So, retain yung 4, drop yung nasa kanan niya. So, 90.4. Next, 3.70, dalawang decimal place. 2.9133, apat na decimal place. Mas konti yung dalawang decimal place. So, our answer must have only 2 decimal places. Okay, so the answer that I'm getting is 0.7867. Okay, 2 decimal places lang, so round off tayo dyan. Ang katabi ng digit na nire-round off natin ay greater than greater than or equal to 5. Therefore, round up. So magiging 0.79. Okay, next. 23.445, tatlong decimal place. 7.83, dalawang decimal place. So yung sagot natin, dapat merong dalawang decimal place lang. Okay? So if we add 23.445 and 7.83, the calculator answer is 31.275. Two decimal places, no? So yung katabi ng second decimal place is 5. Alright? Therefore, round up. So magiging 31.28. So that's how we preserve significant figures in numerical in addition and subtraction. Paano naman kung multiplication and division? Kamukha ng addition and subtraction, pero instead of decimal places, significant figures ang kinoconsider natin. So, let's try this one. So, 24, dalawang sig figs. 4.52, tatlong sig figs. 100.0, apat na sig figs. So, ang sagot natin dapat may two significant figures. Kasi, two significant figures yung pinakakonti. So, let's multiply. And then, let's divide by 100. So, the answer that I'm getting is 1.0848. But we only need two significant figures. This is already significant. So, dito tayo mag-round off. Para meron tayo second significant figure. So, 8 yung katabi niya. So, round up, magiging 1.1. Alright, next. 4.51, 3 sig figs. 3.6666, 5 sig figs. So, our answer must have 3 sig figs. So, 4.51 times 3.6666. The calculator answer is 16.536366. But because we need three significant figures, 1, 2, third significant figure, so we round off here, magiging 16.5. Then finally, 6.8, 2 sig figs, 112.04, 5 sig figs. So our answer must have two significant figures. When you divide, you will get 0.06069260978. So yan yung calculator answer, but we only need two significant figures, not significant, not significant, significant, significant. So round off tayo dito, giging 0.061. And those are the answers here. Now let's talk about exact numbers, no? Exact numbers, these are numbers obtained from definitions or when the number of objects are counted, no, binibilang. So wala kang uncertainty, halimbawa, number of people, no, in a classroom. So wala ka namang 1.1, 1.2 or 1.3 na tao. Okay? So exact number 'yon pagka nabibilang. So exact numbers are considered to have an infinite number of significant figures and infinite number of decimal places. Yun ang ating consideration. Bakit? Para i-disregard natin siya kapag nag-add, subtract, multiply, divide tayo. No? An example, whenever we get averages, no, we sum the measurements and we divide by the total number of measurements. Okay, so for example, the average of the following measured lengths, right? So to calculate 2.64 plus 2.68 plus 2.70, then you divide by 3. When you add, ang fina-follow nating rule ay pinaka-konting decimal places. Well, pare-pareho lang naman silang dalawa, no? Dalawang decimal place. So, yung sagot natin must have 2 decimal places as well. So, it will be 8.02 divided by 3. Now, when you divide, the rules for significant figures will apply. Ito, may tatlong significant figures. Okay? However, this 3 here actually has an infinite number of significant figures. Bakit? Because that 3 is actually based on the definition of an average. When you average, you divide by the total number of measurements. Hindi naman siya mineasure yung 3. No? Dahil may nagkataon na may tatlong measurements ka, by definition, you divide by 3. Okay? Hindi measured value ang 3. So anything that you did not measure on your own is considered an exact number. May infinite number of significant figures. And therefore, between 3 and infinity, ang mas konti ay si 3. So yung sagot will have 3 significant figures. So when you divide by 3, the answer would be 2.6733333 na marami. Pero kailangan lang natin ng tatlong significant figures. So 1, 2, 3. We round off here. So the answer would be 2.67. Okay? Ayun. Or sometimes, sinasabi ko na lang sa students, pag may exact number, wag nyo siyang i-consider at all. No? So in this case, kung hindi mo i-consider yung 3, automatic. 3 significant figures yung sagot. Alright? So examples of exact numbers, no? So anything that we count, no, number of data or experimental measurements, definition, no? So pag nagmo-multiply tayo by 100 to get the percent, no? By definition, no? 100 is being multiplied, so that's exact. Results of conversions, no? For example, by definition, there's 1.025 grams per ml. Yung per ml, meaning 1 ml, yung 1 dito is an exact number because that's the precise definition of per, no? For every 1 ml. Now, when you do logarithm and anti-logarithm, alright, for logarithm, ang gagawin natin, alright, bibilangin nyo kung ilan yung significant figures. Pag nakuha mo na yung number of significant figures, yun yung number ng decimal point ng sagot. Okay? Again, significant figures from the original number, that will be the number of decimal places. Okay? Yung anti-log baliktad. Kung ilang decimal places yung meron sa original number, yun yung magdedetermine ng significant figure ng sagot. For example, logarithm of 4.000 times 10 to the 5. Again, ang gagawin natin, alamin natin kung ilang significant figures yung meron. So there are 1, 2, 3, 4 significant figures. So there should be 4 decimal places. So if we get the logarithm of 4 times 10 to the 5, the answer would be, or the calculator answer is 5.602059991. But we need 4 decimal places, so hanggang dito. Okay, so round off, you have 5.6021. Okay? For letter B, 12.5, no? Has 1 decimal place. So 1 decimal place, or our answer should only have 1 significant figure. So if we get the anti-log of 12.5, the answer would be 3.162277766 times 10 to the 12. But we only need 1 significant figure, so it's simply 3 times 10 to the 12. Okay, by the way, anti-log is 10 raised to, no? In this case, 10 raised to 12.5. You're rounding off data just to remind you in case you forget, but I will not reiterate it anymore. Okay. Um, well, there's a practice, no, that when you round a 5, you always round to the nearest even number, no? Pero sometimes hindi yan sinusunod, no? So, hindi ako ganun ka-strict dyan. We should note that it is seldom justifiable to keep more than one significant figure in the standard deviation because the standard deviation contains error as well. Okay? Also, it's important to postpone rounding off until all the calculation is completed. Yung iba, ginagawa, no, sinusulat lahat ng calculator answer and then minamark hanggang saan lang ba doon yung significant. Okay? Para lang ma-monitor kung ilang significant figures pa yung meron. Okay? Pero yun, no? As much as possible, avoid rounding off until your final calculation. So the uncertainty of the result is rounded so that it contains the same number of decimal places as the reported value. Automatic yon. Yung standard deviation mo dapat same number of decimal places as the reported value. Right? And that ends the discussion on measurements and significant figures.